In 2008, a 14-year-old boy in the American state of Virginia was playing Counter-Strike on his computer. While playing, he began using some commands and realized for the first time that computers were incredibly powerful. If someone knew how to use them properly, they could do things that would shake governments. This boy was known online as Default. At that time, a hacker group called Anonymous was becoming very famous in America. This group hacked different companies and government websites just to gain attention. Default was very impressed by this group. The problem with Anonymous was that it was hard to trust anyone within the group, as some members were undercover police officers trying to catch hackers. During this time, Default found another hacker group called AnonSec. AnonSec was similar to Anonymous, but its members only hacked websites and accounts for political and social motives. After joining this group, a whole new world of hacking opened up for Default. His first major hacking stunt was breaking into the server of Canada's Windsor University, where he found the financial records of students who had taken loans from the university. This data amounted to around $94 million. Default deleted all of it. Normally, when hackers gain access to such financial information, they charge a hefty price to restore it. But Default had no such intention. He began to see hacking as a tool for gaining attention and bringing about social change. After this, Default hacked website after website, with each hack driven by a social or political motive. By 2013, Default had become a professional-level hacker. He was also very interested in cryptocurrency, and as a result, he had collected 1,000 bitcoins on a hard drive, which would be worth around $66 million today. This is where another character enters the story. 29-year-old CIA contractor. In May 2013, this CIA contractor sat in his apartment for a long time, deep in thought. He had come across a very secret file stating that the American government had the ability to monitor every person in the world who had ever logged onto a computer connected to the internet. To him, this was a massive violation of human rights that had to be stopped at all costs. But he also knew that if he told anyone about it, he would be charged with leaking confidential information, which could land him in prison for the rest of his life. An idea came to his mind. He downloaded all the data onto his device, applied for a few weeks of leave, and fled to Hong Kong, believing that the Hong Kong government would protect him from the American government. This CIA contractor's name was Edward Snowden. After reaching Hong Kong, he gave an interview to two journalists that shook the entire world. In this interview, he revealed how the American government was monitoring people globally and violating individual freedoms. This interview greatly inspired hackers like Default and Gregor. On one hand, Default was furious with his government. He decided that he would teach the CIA officials a lesson and show them what it feels like when someone monitors your private life and data. So he teamed up with Gregor in England. Gregor was strongly opposed to America's increasing involvement in the Middle East, especially its role in Palestine. The two boys formed a group called Crackers with Attitude. Their first target was James Clapper, the Director of National Intelligence under the Obama administration. They hacked into his email through his phone number and then used it to hack all his social media accounts. Their next target was CIA Director John Brennan. Not only did they hack Brennan's data, but they also made a prank call. On October 6, 2015, the entire CIA and John Brennan were left stunned. Crackers uploaded all of Brennan's data to Julian Assange's WikiLeaks website. This included confidential documents detailing the CIA's role in the Afghanistan and Iraq wars, as well as technologies that the CIA was using to violate human rights. In October 2015, Julian Assange made all this data public, and all hell broke loose. The CIA had to pay $1.5 million in damages due to this data leak. Many of their secret agents had to go underground. Several people resigned, and the agency faced immense embarrassment. But these two didn't stop there. Over the next few months, they continued hacking everything from the FBI's database, the Department of Justice's website, leaking documents along the way. The American government was humiliated and had no idea who these hackers were. Boys knew that after what they had done, the CIA and American government would surely come after them. That's why they were going to great lengths to hide their identities, changing proxies and IP addresses every 5 minutes to avoid being traced. Despite being the most powerful spy agency in the world, the CIA couldn't trace these two teenagers. But then in September 2016, Gregor made a huge mistake. One day, while partying with two friends, he was watching the news on TV. The news was about how the group, Crackers with Attitude, had baffled the entire CIA. In a moment of drunken pride, Gregor bragged to his friends that this group was his. When his friends laughed at him, he showed them all the servers and proof. This was his biggest mistake. One of his friends tipped off the government, and within 48 hours, British police raided Gregor's apartment in England, while the FBI raided Default's apartment in America. Both were arrested. Gregor, being underage and in the UK, sentenced to 2 years in juvenile detention. Default, because he was in America, received a much harsher sentence, 5 years in federal prison and a $5,000 fine. The government also confiscated his hard drive containing 1,000 Bitcoin. These two boys were punished for leaking information that was beneficial to all humans. The data they leaked turned out to be exactly what happened in December 2023, when the Biden administration passed a controversial law giving the government the right to monitor anyone in the world without a warrant. And who knows, while you're watching this video, both you and I might be under surveillance. My question is it a crime to leak documents that expose the government's wrongdoings, especially when those actions are a threat to humanity? This situation reminds me of a quote by Edward Snowden. When exposing a crime is treated as committing a crime, you are being ruled by criminals. What are your opinions on this entire case? Let me know in the comments below. See you in the next video with another interesting topic. Take care.